Recently I've been helping just a lot of out-of-state buyers as they've been making their move here to the Phoenix area. And one of the most frequent questions I get asked goes something like this. Hey, so what's the difference between the East Valley and the West Valley? And then it's almost always followed up with, well, which one is better? So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the East and West Valleys, and we're going to do a little bit of comparing and contrasting. But as it comes down to which one is better, well, I'm going to leave that decision up to you. Hi and welcome back. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is John Ferrin. I'm a realtor with Home Smart Lifestyles right here in Queen Creek, Arizona. And on this channel, we talk about all things real estate as it pertains to Queen Creek and the surrounding area. So the city of Phoenix and just about all of the Phoenix metropolitan area sit within Maricopa County. Now, Maricopa County by landmass is the second largest county in the U.S., and by population, it's the fourth largest county. Maricopa County is just over 9,200 square miles in size, so that puts it at just about the same size as the state of Vermont, and there's upwards of 500,000 people living here in the county. So the Phoenix metro area is kind of broken up into maybe 3 or 4 different categories. You've got Phoenix itself, and then everything to the west is known as the West Valley, everything to the east is known as the East Valley, and then there's Scottsdale, which is just kind of an entity unto itself. Now the East Valley, it's comprised of Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Santan Valley, and Apache Junction. Over on the west side, the West Valley is made up of Goodyear, Buckeye, Peoria, Glendale, and Surprise, just to name a few. And so in today's video, I wanted to take a look at 8 different categories and kind of compare them between the East and West Valleys. And in full disclosure, I have lived and worked my entire life in the East Valley, so I'm probably just a little bit partial to the east side, but we'll see how this plays out. So the first category I wanted to look at was active adult communities. Now I know for many of you this isn't going to be a factor, but for me and my baby boomer generation, this becomes more and more important as we continue to age. So if the East Valley and the West Valley were siblings, well, the East Valley, that would be the older, more mature big brother, while the West Valley might be the little brother who's maybe just a bit of a late bloomer. So in the East Valley, there's 27 different active adult communities, but only 2 of them are still building new construction homes. All of the others have been built out and finished for years, and in some cases, decades. Now over on the west side in the West Valley, there's 23 different active adult communities, and of those, 9 of them are still doing new construction homes. So you can see that at least when it comes to active adult communities, the West Valley is where the majority of new construction is taking place. And holy cow, the amenities that they're putting into these communities are just incredible. Now, I've been to several of these communities, but I gotta tell you that Cantamia by Taylor Morrison Homes in Goodyear, that's gotta be the crown jewel of them all. Now, if you wanna know more, check out this video right up here. So, when it comes to active adult communities, I gotta give the nod to the west side. Now, the next category is growth, and it wasn't that long ago that Queen Creek was ranking in the top 5 or so of the fastest growing cities in the U.S. But today, times are a little bit different, and again, the west side's that late bloomer. But according to the most recent data that I could find, there's 2 west side cities making the list of the 15 fastest growing cities in the U.S., and there wasn't any mention of any East Valley cities. Now that doesn't really surprise me because cities like Buckeye, Goodyear, Peoria, they all have huge land masses. Their boundaries are huge, but it encompasses just a whole lot of undeveloped areas. So as these areas start to develop, I guess it would only make sense that they would be in the top 5, 10, 15 fastest growing cities in the country. So because of that, another check mark to the west side. Now the next category is employment and income opportunities. So when you take a look at the top 25 employers in the Phoenix metropolitan area, 14 of them actually are headquartered within the city limits of Phoenix. 2 more are based outside of Arizona, and then that leaves 9 of the biggest employers based in the East Valley, with only 1, and that's Kroger Foods, that's based over in the West Valley. And with the Mesa Tech Corridor, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, the Price Road Corridor in Chandler with businesses such as Intel and Northrop Grumman, and places like Rivulon, which is Gilbert's central business district, there are plenty of high-paying jobs and employment opportunities to go around in the East Valley. But don't count out the West Valley. Traditionally, the West Valley has been farming and industrial and warehousing type of operations, but the face of the West Valley is changing. According to business news website azbigmedia.com, 15 years ago, the stadium where the Arizona Cardinals currently play was built out in the middle of a large patch of vacant farmland near the 101 freeway and Glendale Road in Glendale. Today, it's a major entertainment and sports hub, and it's packed with bars and restaurants, the Gila River Arena where the Coyotes play, and other venues, all of which attract about 12 million visitors each year. And more recent development includes the completion of the $400 million, 1.2 million square foot Desert Diamond West Valley Casino, and that's located near 93rd and Northern Avenues. And then for more family fun, just south of the Cardinal Stadium, there's an 11-acre family fun water park called Crystal Lagoon that's being developed, and there's going to be a resort there as well. Now, I don't know what it's like where you are, but here, anytime a freeway is built or expanded, it seems like the car dealerships just flock to that area. And so this holds true over in the West Valley along the Loop 101 freeway. And this is where you'll find high-end car dealerships such as BMW, Volvo, Jaguar, and Land Rover. And then if you go out even further west, you'll find the recently completed Loop 303 freeway. And that freeway arcs around connecting I-17 with I-10. And this area is starting to emerge as a manufacturing corridor. Recently, a Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company purchased just over 1,100 acres of state land near the Loop 303 and State Route 74, where they're going to build a $12 billion with a B dollar facility. And following along with more employment opportunities, recently the West Valley has seen more Class A office space being developed than ever before, and we're actually even starting to see more homes and even higher end homes, which hasn't always been the case. Now, as for income, we can take a look at the top 25 zip codes in the Phoenix metropolitan area, and what we'll find is that 8 of the top zip codes are in the East Valley, while only 2 of the top 25 zip codes are in the West Valley. And so today, when it comes to employment and income opportunities, I gotta give the nod to the East Valley, but man, keep your eye on the West Valley because big things are happening out there. And so what about entertainment? Well, the East Valley offers ASU Sun Devil football, plus you'll always find plays, concerts, and musicals at Grady Gamage Auditorium that's on the campus of Arizona State University, as well as you can do summer tubing adventures on the Salt River, you can go hiking in the Santan Mountain Regional Park, or you can go boating on Saguaro and Canyon Lakes, and let's not forget about the agritainment opportunities at Schnepp Farms. And just about any kind of dining experience that you can imagine, and that's just scratching the surface. Now the West Side, however, it does give you easy access to the Phoenix Suns, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Phoenix Coyotes. Plus there's Auction Pavilion, and this is where you can catch all of the big name acts in concert, and there's Phoenix Raceway for all of the NASCAR events. Plus you can go hiking in the Estrella Mountain Regional Park and boating at Lake Pleasant. So this one's a little bit of a toss-up. It kind of depends on what your flavor is. I think if we're looking for culture and dining, well then maybe the East Valley's gonna get the nod. But if you're looking for outdoor activities and sports, well then it's got to go to the West Side. Now here's everybody's favorite. Let's spend a minute talking about traffic. So I did an unscientific examination of commute times, and what I found is that rush hour commute times from Queen Creek to downtown Phoenix are actually quite similar to rush hour commute times from Buckeye to the same location. So I guess you can make whatever you will out of that. And both the East and West Valley have a pretty extensive bus service that will help you get around. But one thing that the East Valley has that West Valley doesn't, and probably never will, would be light rail. The Valley Metro light rail system, it runs between Northwest Phoenix all the way out to Mesa, and there's a lot of stops along the way. So this helps making your commute into Phoenix a lot easier. Plus, it's even more relaxing than driving and fighting that rush hour traffic. And so because of light rail, the East Valley, well, it's the hands down winner in the traffic category. Now stick around because we've got two more categories to get through, and they're kind of related to each other. One is cost of living and the other is housing. Now let's take a look at this comparison that's provided by the website bestplaces.com. As you can see, we're comparing Goodyear, Arizona in the West Valley to Gilbert, Arizona in the East Valley, and we're just assuming an average income of $50,000 a year just to keep it simple. You can see right here that to maintain your current lifestyle, your income would have to increase a little bit to just over $52,000 if you're going to be living in Gilbert. Overall, Gilbert is about 4.5% more expensive than Goodyear, but let's take a closer look. So this chart shows us that your food and groceries are going to be just a hair more expensive in the East Valley, but look at housing. 143.9 versus 126, and that's based on a scale of 100 being even. So according to this chart, it's 14.2% more expensive to live in the East Valley. We'll skip past the median home cost because some of this information is a little bit old, but if you look at utilities, you can see that it's more expensive in the West Valley than it is in the East Valley, and that's probably because in the East Valley, we typically have Salt River Project or SRP as our electrical supplier, and in the West Valley they tend to use Arizona Public Service, which does run just a little bit higher. Transportation costs in the West Valley are higher, and I think that's probably because there's a little bit more public transportation in the West Valley. And then if you look at health, it's pretty much equal, miscellaneous, not much change there either. And so for the cost of living category, check mark goes to the West Valley. And what about housing costs? Well, again, I did another unscientific examination, but what I found is that the average sales price right now for the West Valley is hanging at just slightly more than $412,000. And over here on the east side, the average sales price is right at about $483,000. Now, there's a lot of other factors that play into this: age of home, the area, the amenities, the size. But if we're going to look just strictly at those numbers that I just gave you, well then, the West Valley wins out again because housing costs there are 17% less than they are in the East Valley. So there you have it, my 8-point comparison between the East Valley and the West Valley, done very unscientifically, but I think it gives you an idea of what to kind of expect between the two. So how's the final tally come out? Well, 4 check marks to the West Valley, 2 check marks to the East Valley, and a tie between the two for entertainment, depending on what your likes and dislikes are. But with all of that notwithstanding, I have always been and forever will be an East Valley fan. And so in my book, the East Valley wins out every time. But there's a lot of people living in the West Valley and loving it, so maybe your mileage will vary. You know, every week I'm getting phone calls from people just like you who see my videos and they want just a little bit more information about the area and kind of what's going on here. And I gotta tell you, it's been so much fun for me to talk to you, get to know you, and in a lot of cases, help you and work with you as you buy your new home. So if you're considering making a move to the Phoenix area, or maybe you're already here and you're thinking about a cross-town move, or maybe you have a home to sell even, if you think that you and I would be a good fit, well then I invite you to call, text, email me. I don't know, a singing telegram will even work. However it is that you choose to communicate, because when it comes to buying and selling homes in the East Valley, I've got your back. Now I could probably go on about this stuff for another 20 or 30 minutes, but there's other videos on this channel that I think you might like as well. So I invite you to surf around, click on whatever jumps out at you while you're there. Remember to hit that subscribe button, click on the bell so you'll be notified every time a new video gets uploaded. And while you're at it, you may as well follow me on social media right here. Now, while you're busy doing all of that, I'm going to be right here looking forward to seeing you in the next video.